I mean, I do think it's important to talk about like how with because I've seen a shift away from talking head videos, talking
Yeah.
head interviews, into more creative,
Lifestyle.
like not even lifestyle, like more creative scripted content, whether it's unscripted cinema verite, like a documentary style with voiceover, or if it is a fully scripted out narrative piece. Because we're finding that just putting stories out that are told, on camera aren't as effective as telling something creative because your engagement's much higher on a creative piece.
Well, I think even that Catholic Charities thing we just did, where it was more, it could have easily been in a studio just talking head videos, telling the story, but it was very much
run and gun, cinema verite, walk and talk.
Which, from a filmmaker, feels like we're cheating. In a way.
In a way, like it's easier to edit to a degree, but also I don't know. It's just more engaging because you can actually progress the story physically and verbally at the same time.
Yeah, and you can add sound design and all that to it. Versus you can't, which you couldn't do.
And then if you have something that's actually more engaging than just a talking head, like people can read a talking head. Like it's just a script that you can just turn it into a. People can use AI and pull out the dialogue, and then it becomes just something you can read. But going to a more creative approach where you're actually bringing in the visuals as part of the story instead of just showing what the person's talking about, you're going to see a higher engagement amount, and then you're actually going to see people sharing the video to other people because they're like, wow, look at what this group did. It's not just them telling us what they do. They're actually going through and showing the process from start to finish, or showing the impact from an actual person who's been affected.
Can you pull that off in a studio environment?
To a degree, I think. I mean, especially if you're doing scripted content, because I think there's this idea that everything needs to be from the horse's mouth, I guess. That's kind of how to put it. But like one thing we're working on right now is like sometimes you just need the stories, and you should tell the stories in a more scripted way because not everybody who's gone through something is going to be comfortable talking about it or good at talking about it. So getting their stories off camera and then adapting that to some kind of creative piece, whether in making it look more something like a narrative, something like from a movie or from a short film, just something that tells their story without having to directly involve that person, because that person's now gets to retain their privacy.
Yeah, that's
they get to, if they're not good on camera, we don't have to train them.
Yeah.
And then we can use, somebody who's actually natural on camera to tell the story. And that can be whether we're acting out full scenes or doing some kind of talking head or, actor representation. That can be very easily done in the studio.
I mean, you definitely don't see that in the church world with content at all. You see that like the Foods That Built America, or like that's like.
Well, and I think it's becoming more common. I think that's kind of what the shift is right now. Like the amount of documentaries coming out now that have accurate representation, or if they do interview someone, most of it's carried by the voiceover, and they'll interview someone and use like 3 lines of their interview. They needed the interview for the context, but then the voiceover is telling the story.
That's true.
And that's something you can do in a studio setting.
Yeah, I mean, really, we could do almost anything in a studio setting.
Oh yeah,
except exteriors.
Well, with LED walls and modern technology, you can do exteriors as well.
That's true. Yeah.